1.16 expansion, we're making a number of changes to improve how characters mitigate ailments, use flasks, and build the defense of their characters. We're also addressing the extreme power of auras and curses in parties, while improving the strength of these mechanics for builds with a smaller investment. Finally, we're changing elemental overload and elemental equilibrium, and massively buffing elemental damage over time to be less dependent on them? Holy I was not I'm blown away already. We've made it one paragraph in and I'm already blown away. Like, we knew all of this. That was basically teased in one of the Chris interviews. But oh boy. I'm not sure how to feel about it on Elemental Overload, because Elemental Overload already struggles to compete with a crit build. Like, if you're a hit-based Elemental build, it's basically always better to just go crit than to try and make Elemental Overload work somehow. And dot builds were like basically the one kind of build where you actually used that node. It'll be interesting, we'll see. We're planning to share our balance changes across 3 news posts. Part 1 covers ailment mitigation and flask improvements. Part 2 covers core character defenses and recovery. And Part 3 covers auras, curses, and elemental damage over time. Okay, so we're getting to it in just a couple days. Today we're talking about ailment mitigation and flask improvements, and we'll share parts 2 and 3 in subsequent days. We've assembled this article as a set of identified problems and our intended solutions. Below each solution is a spoiler tag with the specifics of what we're currently intending to change. Please note that as we're still a couple weeks out from release, anything here is subject to change based on our further testing and your feedback. Wait! So they're actually giving us preliminary numbers. Holy shit, I'm fucking blown away. Chi. You did it. This is the way. This is the fucking way. I absolutely love this. So, ailment mitigation problem. In 3.15 we changed how flasks prevent ailments and curses on you, but didn't provide enough reasonable alternatives for mitigating ailments. Solution: introduce a large number of options and improve existing options for characters to deal with ailments. Characters should now be able to pick between reservation skills that mitigate ailments, remove effects reactively with life or mana flasks, gain immunity at a cost through utility flasks, or use improved modifiers on items and the passive skill tree to mitigate ailments and curses. I'm so fucking hyped. Let's go. Let's look at what they're doing. Certain skills now mitigate ailments. Purity of Elements aura now grants you and nearby elements are immune to all elemental ailments. You what? You and nearby elements gain plus 10 to 34 to all elemental resistances, previously plus 12 to 27. Now has a reservation of 50%, previously 35%. That seems reasonable. This is really fucking strong. Holy shit. Are people actually gonna be using Purity of Elements now? Like, Elements used to always be the trash purity that you never... Yeah, Purity of Elements in every build now. Absolutely. That's how it's gonna be, isn't it? Anomalous Purity of Elements no longer grants you and nearby allies have plus 0 to plus 2 10% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Instead, it now grants 0 to 10% increased effect of aura. That makes sense. Previous anomalous quality was fucking meme tier garbage. I'm absolutely glad they're removing that. Eternal Labyrinth enchantment for Purity of Elements reservation has been changed to match the values of other 50% reservation auras. Makes sense. Steel Skin buff now grants you are immune to bleeding during effect. Huh. Tempest Shield is now a Tempest Shield is now a reservation effect. Well, we're starting out early with the glad nerfs, are we? Oh boy. Tempest Shield is now a reservation effect and grants immunity to shock as mentioned below. Oh, so we're... Jesus, this is gonna be a lot of reading here. Utility flasks now have modifiers that grant immunity to an ailment during flask effect, but lessen the duration of the flask. This takes the place of the modifier that modifiers that give a specific ailment immunity if used while the ailment is active. Yeah, I'm glad they're getting rid of those modifiers. They were really fucking bad. Like, it kind of felt okay to use on a bleed, because that's like how I was using a bleed flask before 3.15 as well. So, like, nothing changed there, but like all the elemental ailment removal suffixes, yeah, they were so shit. I'm so glad they're changing them. For example, immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood during flask effect, 35 to 39% less duration. Oh, it's less duration, huh? Okay, interesting. New tiers of the modifiers that give immunity to an ailment if used while the ailment is active have been added to life and mana flasks, providing up to 17 seconds of immunity at the highest tier. What? That's huge! That's fucking enormous. I love it. Allied Consecrated Ground now grants 50% reduced effect of curses on you while standing on it. Big. Very big. They decided to make easy mode, I guess, because of hard mode. I mean, if that's the road the game is gonna go down, then I'm down for that, yeah. Because, like, people should be able to decide if they want an easy game and just ruffle stomp through all content, or, like, be challenged as soon as they make it on the Twilight Strand. Like, I guess you make it your own. It's kind of cool. Rebalance to passive clusters that provide ailment protection, as well as new passives across the passive tree. Between the Templar and Witch, Asylum now grants chaos resistance as well as protecting against curses instead of increasing consecrated ground effect. Between the Witch and Shadow is a new cluster to protect against poison, bleeding and stun. New sources of protection from stun, curses, critical strikes and ailments, as well as more specialized mechanics like Corrupted Blood, Maim, Hinder and Impale. I love all of this. Like, yes, give us more options, give us more character design space. I fucking love this. Pathfinder will be OP. I mean, Pathfinder is always OP in some way. That's like the free square in the bingo card. Pathfinder will be OP, right? Many Pantheon powers have been updated to better mitigate ailments. Wait, I skipped this. New Keystone passive skill added to the center of the tree that causes intelligence to provide no inherent bonus to energy shield, but instead reduces elemental ailment duration on you. Huh. So that could be interesting for, like, non-energy shield casters, because you usually end up with like 200-300 int pretty easy on those builds. Maybe. We'll see. Many Pantheon powers have been updated to better mitigate ailments. Some Pantheon modifiers have been updated to be more of a choice with others. Soul of Brine King. Upgraded Soul of the Brine King Pantheon now grants cannot be frozen instead of you cannot be frozen if you've been frozen recently. I love it. Soul of Arakali no longer grants 10% chance to avoid lightning damage from hits. Now grants 10% reduced damage taken from damage over time, previously 5%. Upgraded Soul of Arakali Pantheon no longer grants 30% reduced effect of shock on you, or 30% reduced shock duration on you. Instead, it now grants debuffs on you expire 20% faster. Debuffs, just general. Upgraded Soul of Arakali Pantheon now grants plus 40 chaos resistance against damage over time, previously 25. That's big. I mean, that was already one of the really popular Pantheons, right? So that's gonna be continued to be used a lot, I'm guessing. Soul of Aberath no longer grants 5% reduced fire damage taken while moving or unaffected by burning ground. It now grants 60% less duration of ignite on you. Upgraded Soul of Aberath Pantheon no longer grants 50% reduced ignite duration on you. It now grants unaffected by burning ground, as well as 10% increased movement speed while on burning ground. Wait, wasn't that on Aberath before? The unaffected by burning ground, I think? Yeah, that was... I'm a bit confused here. Let me read this again. No longer grants 5% reduced fire damage over fire damage taken while moving or unaffected by... Oh. Oh, so they moved the unaffected by burning ground from the base effect to one of the upgrades. Okay, I got it. Soul of Shakari. Soul of Shakari and the upgraded Soul of Shakari Pantheon powers have been swapped. Soul of Shakari Pantheon now grants 50% less duration of poisons on you, and you cannot be poisoned while there are at least 3 poisons on you. Previously 5 poisons. I mean, that's a nice change, because... yeah, 5 poisons was already a pretty lethal amount of poison. Maybe it's actually useful now. Upgraded Soul of Shakari Pantheon now grants 5% reduced chaos damage taken and 25% reduced chaos damage over time taken while on caustic ground. Soul of Ralakesh no longer grants 25% chance to avoid bleeding. Instead, it now grants moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage. That's... I will be using that. I will be using that for a long time. Holy shit. Setting speed times 2. Yeah, you gotta wait for the wall to do that. Soul of Yugo no longer grants 50% chance to reflect enemy chills and freezes. Instead, it now grants 50% chance to reflect hexes. You and your minions take 50% reduced reflected damage, previously 25%. I mean... wait, does reflecting a hex mean that hex doesn't then apply to me? It doesn't, right? It still applies to me, I just also reflected it to the enemy, so that's kinda useless. It did increase the reduced effect of curses on it. That's fine, I guess. Immunities in softcore, resident sleeper, yeah. True. So... oh wait, I just read that. Soul of Garakan no longer grants plus 5% chance to evade attack hits if you've taken a savage hit recently. Instead, it now grants 60% reduced effect of shock on you. Oh. That sounds like a nerf. I don't know, that sounds like a nerf to me. Soul of Tukohama now grants while stationary gain 3% additional physical damage reduction every second up to a maximum of 9. Previously 2 up to a maximum of 8. So that's buffed. Upgraded Soul of Tukohama no longer grants while stationary gain 0.5% of life regeneration up to 2%. Instead, it just regenerates 2% while stationary. Okay. Okay, that's, we can do that. 1080p? What do you mean, Myron? Is like my stream resolution shit? When? 1080p when? What? It's 720p? Oh, you mean full screen. You want this shit full screened. I got you. I got you, my dude. Is this better? This work for you? All right. You can actually read now, Pog. I'm sorry about that. Crafting modifiers have been updated. The modified body armor that granted 25 to 30% chance to avoid elemental ailments and being stunned now grants 30 to 35% chance. The crafting bench version of this modifier has been updated accordingly. So basically the crafting bench nerf that they did like last or the league before that has been reverted now. Chance to avoid elemental ailments crafting bench option now grants 21 to 25% chance, so that's been reverted as well. Yes, reduced effect of chill and shock on you. Nobody cares because it's specific who wants specific ailment immunity. Added the following new crafting bench modifiers. Shields take no extra damage from bleed while moving. Oh. Okay, that seems strong. Belt 36 or 43 chaos resistance to damage over time. Yeah, those seem pretty big. Boots 50 and 60% chance to avoid bleeding. Rings 50 and 60% reduced ignite duration. 50 and 60% reduced effect of chill. 50 and 60% reduced effect of shock. 20 and 25% reduced effect of curses. Helmet same but freeze. 15 20% reduced effect of freeze. Oh, so that's like the Aquamarine Flask curse immune smile. Yeah. Wait, we can scale like 100% reduced curse effect on you now. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be hella fun. Updated crafting bench modifiers. Don't worry, Flask has 86% at max roll. 86%. Huge. Fucking huge. Updated crafting bench modifier unlock locations. Rank 2 attributes crafting bench options are now unlocked in the Western Forest in Act 6. These were previously unlocked in the Ascent in Act 4. Rank 3 attributes are now unlocked in maps. These were... I mean, that just seems fucking random. Why? Like, were those craft locations that OP? Avoidance, yes. Rank 1 ailment, stun and curse mitigation crafting bench options are now unlocked in the Ascent Act 4. These were moved way the heck earlier. Holy shit. Okay, I should have read that first before starting to comment. Yeah, okay. I'm down with this. I'm absolutely down with this. New belt crafting bench option is unlocked with other reduced damage over time crafting options. This unlock was in the Incursion Temple but is now found in a map. The remaining new crafting options are unlocked alongside other ailment, stun and curse mitigation crafting options in the Ascent in Act 4. The modifier levels of existing modifiers in the rank 1 ailment, stun and curse mitigation category have been lowered, so the item level requirement of the item is appropriate if you use this craft during the campaign. That's cool. Man, there is a lot of fucking text here. Should I just skip the spoilers for like a first pass and then go back and do all the spoilers? I think, but then we don't get any numbers. No, I don't want to do that. Then we just don't get any numbers at all. Spoilers is everything. Yeah, true. We were here. Updated certain rare item modifiers and added some new ones. Shields, chance to avoid all elemental status ailments can now roll as a suffix on all shields. Previously just dexterity shields. Big? Tier 1 chance to avoid all elemental status ailments modifier now grants up to 35% chance. Previously 23. Yeah. Those sound like good numbers. I'm liking the numbers that I'm seeing here. Influenced items, chance to avoid ignite, freeze, shock, now scales up to 60% chance, previously 45%. Neat. Void poison and bleed scales up to 50, previously 35. Oh, lower tier modifiers have been removed. Lower tier modifiers have been removed, so not only are they buffing the modifiers, they're also buffing the crafting odds of everything else on those bases. That sounds cool. I'm down for that. The chance to avoid all elemental status ailments on Shaper Boots now scales up to 35%. Lower tiers have been removed. Chance to avoid stun on Elder and Redeemer, 35%, previously 30, lower tiers removed. Reduced ignite and freeze duration and reduced shock effect on Crusader helms up to 60%, lower tiers removed. Reduced curse effect on Crusader and Shaper rings up to 40%, previously 35, lower tiers removed. Moving while bleeding doesn't cause you to take extra damage, can no longer roll on Hunter shields. Because it can now roll on all kinds of shields. That's huge. That's like a lot of these, if you just read the line and forgot everything that you already read, it sounds like a nerf, but it actually, yeah, it's relating back to something from earlier. It's huge. Avoidance values on essences up to 60%, previously 44. Abyss jewels up to 30%, previously 20. 2 new modifiers to regular jewels, reduced effect of chill and shock and reduced effect of curses. Timeless jewel, brutal restraint, notable passive skill addition that grants a chance to avoid stuns. Now grants a 20% chance, previously 10%. Yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't take that because it's pretty trash. Like, just don't get hit in the first place and you're not getting stunned anyway. But like, yeah. Elemental Elegant Hubris, notable passive skill transformation that grants a chance to avoid being chilled. Now grants 80% chance. Previously 50. Yeah. Clustered Jewels. Elegant Form, now 20%, previously 15. Jewel Corruption. I don't like that. Chi, I don't like it. Make it go away. No. No, no, why? Why would you have to add it on Jewel implicit? No. Yeah, corrupting blood is gonna be like really expensive. Oh god, no. I'm not a fan of this. I mean, it's a good modifier. The numbers on it are good. Like, it's gonna make it really easy to get 100% ailment avoidance with these corruptions. But the fact that they exist are gonna make everything else that much more expensive. I don't like it. Synthesis implicits that grant avoid now grant 8 to 10%, previously 3 to 5%. This is fine. Harvest implicits now have 15%, previously 10. This is huge. Ring corruptions. Obtaining an implicit cannot be poisoned, ignited, inflicted with bleed is now possible earlier in the game and has a higher outcome chance. Okay, so those corruptions now exist. Good to know. Some uniques have been updated. The Tear of Purity amulet no longer grants 5% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Instead, it now grants plus 5% to all elemental resistances. As Purity of Elements now. Oh, that's the amulet that gives Purity of Elements. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Conqueror's Longevity now grants 10% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Previously 3%. Existing versions can be updated with a Divine Orb. Yeah, it's not gonna be worth updating them. Ghastly Theater's Shield now grants bleeding cannot be inflicted on you. Previously 30 to 50% chance to avoid bleeding. What the fuck even is that shield? Kikasaru now grants 60% reduced effect of curses on you. Previously 40%. Cool. Flasks. Hey, we got the first spoiler done. There's only like 15 more. Yay. Flasks. Problem. Many flask modifiers grant buffs during flask effect, which isn't well suited to life and mana flasks' short and reactive nature. Solution. Added new modifiers to life and mana flasks that are impactful but brief and have a duration rather than applying during flask effect. Short spoiler! God bless! Oh, we're not gonna be here for 5 hours after all, God bless. Removed many flask effect modifiers from life and mana flasks and added the following modifiers for life and mana flasks. Hinder nearby enemies with 40% reduced move. 40%? Wait, isn't hinder usually 20%? Or is that... am I dumb? Was it always 40? Hinder nearby enemies with 40% reduced movement speed for 4 seconds if used while not on full life. Full mana flasks only. And same while not on full life for life flasks only. Okay. Grants immunity to hinder for 17 seconds if used while hindered. Grants immunity to maim for 17 seconds if used while maimed. So that's one mod for both. That's big. Recover an additional 40% of life recovery over 10 seconds if used while not on full life. I don't understand that one. Recover an additional 40% of life recovery over 10 seconds if... Oh, I missed the over 10 seconds. Okay, so that's like 40% more healing, but it's over whatever duration. So if you roll that on an instant flask, it's not gonna be instant. Right. Yeah, those sound good. Problem. Utility flasks are being used proactively, but the ailment protection modifiers introduced in 3.15 work by reacting to an ailment on you. Solution. Replace the ailment removal modifier on utility flasks with one that grants ailment immunity but lessens flask duration. Note that base durations on utility flasks have been increased to compensate. Base durations have been increased to compensate. Ah, okay. Okay. New modifiers only found. Oh, okay. Let me just actually read it so I don't get confused. Added new modifiers to utility flasks for mitigating ailments, as well as adding more tiers to existing modifiers that are now only found on life and mana flasks, as noted above. We have also added these ailment immunity modifiers for utility flasks as beast crafting options. Pog. Immunity to bleeding and corrupted blood during flask effect, 35% less duration at the highest tier. Immunity to poison, 35% less. So these are just like... they're literally just the old immunity mods with 35% less duration packed on top. But the flasks now have more base duration, so it probably compensates. Sort of. I'm guessing it's still gonna be like 15-20% less duration compared to our ailment immunity flasks that we used in 3.14. But yeah, I'm down for it. I mean, I don't care, I'll just be fucking using Purity of Elements, but yeah. Problem. Utility flasks are sustainable with enough character damage and clear speed, but there aren't easy ways to sustain utility flasks for less powerful characters. Little do you know, hehe. Am I gonna get to something? Do I not know? Am I missing critical information? Utility flasks add new modifiers and improve existing modifiers on flasks that affect their duration or charge gain. Add some new passive skills to help sustain flasks. Extend the base duration of utility flasks to reduce how often they need to be used. New modifier that helps extend flask uptime. 66% increased charge recovery, 25% reduced effect. That could still be pretty strong. Extending utility flask duration. Quicksilver, diamond, granite, jade, quartz, silver now lasts 6 seconds, previously 4. Oh! Okay, so... scratch what I said before then. Okay, we're actually going back to our immunity durations from 3.14, pretty much. Respect. Ruby, sapphire, topaz, aqua, sulfur, basalt, stibnite, and corundum now last 8, previously 5. Gold and iron now last 5, previously 3. Bismuth last 8.5 from 5.5. Amethyst now last 6.5 from 4.5. Unique flasks are being reviewed as a result of these changes. Dying Sun now has 40 to 60% less duration. Previously 40 to 60% reduced duration. So Dying Sun is nerfed. Coruscating Elixir now has 25% increased duration, previously 100%. Coruscating Elixir is nerfed? Why? Oh no, wait, I'm dumb, I can't math. 8 with 25% increased. I mean, it's still gonna be nerfed once you apply quality to it, right? Bottled Faith now at 15 to 30% reduced duration, previously 20 to 40% increased. Okay, so they basically saw that people in 3.15 were still using Bottled Faith as a really good flask. And Chris just saw that and said, nah, dog, nah, I told you last time. You cut that shit out. You didn't. Now you're gonna fucking cut that shit out, alright? Oh boy. Oh boy. Yeah, this is how we do it. Problem. Even after lowering the power of many unique flasks in 3.50, unique flasks still outclass most magic utility flasks. Oh, here we go. Here we go, boys. In addition, the item level of flasks did not matter after a certain point. Solution: add multiple tiers to most. Oh wait, this is okay. No, this isn't. It's fine. It's fine. I judged too quickly. This isn't gonna be fuck unique flasks. This is gonna be actually buff magic flasks, right? Flask modifiers. At higher levels, flasks now have much more powerful effects available. Flask modifiers that increase armor or evasion are now weaker at the first tier, as the changes to armor and evasion below make them more powerful. These changes allow us to restore some of the power that was removed from flasks in 3.15 without affecting the early to mid game so much. It's 0.2. 0.2. Wait, dying? Bottle Faith? It's 0.2 second nerf. Five times 1.4. Yeah, but you would have quality on it as well, so you'd have to 5 times 1.6 is 8 seconds before. And now it's 8 times 1.05, so it's actually buffed. No wait, it's 6 times. What? But it's... Wait, before we had 4 seconds with 40% increased and 20% from quality, so that's 4 times 1.6. That's 6.4 seconds before. Now we have 6 seconds times 0.85 for the minus 15%, but plus 20 because we have quality still. So 6 times 1.05. It's nerfed by 0.1 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna fucking shut up. Yeah, I did the thing. I did the thing. This is not going on the YouTube video. I'm gonna cut this shit out. It's unlocked by my own stupidity. Yeah, let's look at the shit. Ho. There's a lot here. Holy shit. 60 to 65% reduced effect of chill on you during flask effect. Wait. Oh, these are all here are examples of the highest tier modifiers available. 60 to 65% reduce. Why? Why? Oh, bottle. Yeah, I'm a noob. I'm not going back to it. I don't care. I don't fucking care. But yeah, why Why is this a thing? This just seems useless. Why would you use these modifiers if you can just use these modifiers? Excuse me? I guess because you don't want the less duration on it. Like, right? That would be the only reason, because that's the only point where those modifiers are better. So if you have like, if you just get 35% reduced effect of chill and shock on your passive tree anyway, then you can grab these, I guess. Especially since you can get it all so easily. Yeah, I guess that makes sense. 12 to 14% increased movement speed during flask effect. Yeah, I'll probably roll that again. So these are like... Oh, that's like a really tiny range, 56 to 60%. So they split up what they currently have, which was 40 to 60, into like 5 different tiers. 4 different tiers, and each tier only has like 5 different rolls on it. 37 to 40% additional elemental resistances during flask effect. That's pretty big. Attack damage, leech, spell damage, leech. Who cares? You can now just roll increased critical strike chance on your flask. You don't have to get it from the Katarina flask anymore. Attack speed. Oh, holy shit, yeah. 15 to 17%. That's pretty big. Charges when hit. Gain 7 charges when you are hit by an enemy. That sounds like... If you're playing something like Juggernaut, where you're not avoiding a lot of hits but mitigating them a lot, and just face tanking everything, you might actually have like better flask sustain than a Pathfinder with this mod. That sounds crazy, holy fuck. Increased block and stun recovery. Maximum charges. That's almost unchanged. That's... A lot of these are very similar to the magnitudes they have right now. And now they're just gonna be at really high levels, so... Flask bases might actually be worth something early league. Like high level... Level 84 plus flask bases? Wait, 85 is a thing. Yeah. You might actually be able to make quite a bit of money early on now by selling flask bases. Raid BRB. Good luck on your raid, Myron. Oh shit! Instant recovery. Oh, it's when on low life. I need to read properly before I start reacting. This is gonna be a real theme of this stream, isn't it? 50% applied instantly. Yeah, it still seems good. Wait, wasn't Wasn't instant recovery when on low life before? Without any reduced amount recovered penalties at all. Am I wrong on that? Am I misremembering that? I am. Okay. Good to know. Good to know. I'm just making shit up today and imagining things have been nerfed when they've actually been buffed. Because I've made up an imaginary, way better previous version that never existed. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we can do that. 50% apply. Yeah, we did that. One increased amount recovered, reduced. So I'm guessing these numbers are all just gonna be buffs. This one looks crazy. Holy shit, 130% increased recovery when on low life. This one is just unaffected. I know that. This one was always 66. So that means instant life flasks on lower levels. Oh wait, no, it's level 7. It's level 7. Okay. Kinda sad that they didn't add a better version for higher levels, I don't know. Maybe it would be too good, I guess. Oh, now we're getting to these ones. That's... yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure most people who are fucking pissed off, and rightfully so, about the 4-second immunity modifiers that we had this version of the game. I think we're gonna be fine with this. 17 seconds immunity, that's really fucking strong. It's still, like, inherently worse than, like, just these ones. Because it grants immunity to ignite if used while ignited. So I have to get ignited first. Then I'm immune for 17 seconds. And then I have to get ignited again before I can become immune. 17 seconds is very good. It's still kind of clunky, but people who are gonna like the reactive playstyle, they're really gonna appreciate these long duration immunities. Remove a curse on use. That's still garbage. Reduced mana cost of skills during flask effect. It's pretty big as well. Yeah. I think those are good changes. I think they did well here. Problem: enkindling orbs and kindling effects on flasks aren't impactful enough and aren't bringing flasks back to the kind of power that non-permanent uptime should grant. Solution: buff some enkindling orb effects, when most notably the increased flask effect modifier. $80 to $100 increased duration from 70 to 90. 40 to 60 maximum charges from 30 to 40. 25 to 35 reduced charges used from 20 to 30. 60 to 80% increased charge recovery from 50 to 60. And 50 to 70% increased effect from 40 to 50. Yeah. Yeah, those will be used. On Overflowing Chalice, of course. Still don't see myself using them anywhere else, but they're really nice for Overflowing Chalice. Problem. Belts are the item slot intended to enhance flasks, but only have a limited list of modifiers that actually affect flasks in the modifier pool. Solution. Add more tiers to flask modifiers on belts and move the flask effect modifier out of the influence modifier pool onto the base modifier pool for belts. Yeah. So we can now get up to 40% flask life recovery rate, flask mana recovery rate, flask charges gained, 33% duration, and we have the 12% increased effect in the base belt modifier pool. That's actually really cool, yeah. So, I mean, Indigon builds got a huge buff. That's for sure. I don't know if, like most other builds, will actually use these modifiers. I mean, the increased effect one is probably gonna be nice for pretty much everyone. So is duration, definitely. But yeah. Those look good. Problem. Instant recovery life flasks are by far the most reliable tool for survivability, as the total life recovery from flask is reasonable, but spread over a long period of time. Solution. Keep the total life recovery from all life flasks the same, but halve the amount of time for this to occur. Oh. Which doubles the healing per second. This is a huge improvement to how effective non-instant life flasks are at keeping you alive in tough situations. Blood of the Karui? I mean, that's still a big buff, right? I mean, at 50%. At 50% reduced, it's slightly nerfed over even the mineral before, but at 35%, it's a massive buff, even over a 20% before. Problem. There are no accessible tools for a player to change their charge gain method if gaining charges on kill isn't well suited to their slower playstyle. Solution. Rework the survival jewels available from the Through Sacred Ground quest to let you gain charges another way, while reducing the charges gained from kills. Survival jewels? I mean, I'm half memeing. Like, I've seen them. I think I know what they look like. I don't think I could tell you the stats of one of the survival jewels, let alone all of them off the top of my head. These are meme tier. These are absolute meme tier garbage. And from what it sounds like here, they're actually going to be big. They're like, yeah. Wait, through sacred ground. What? Go through sacred ground. That's Act 2. It is Act 2. Oh, it's the... Yeah, these are so shit. The Giga Chem! It's the Giga Chem poggers. Oh boy. Man, Preacher's gonna be mad when they kill his Giga Chem. Yeah, I guess this one was actually half decent. 3 flat mana regen, like that sounds usable. This is garbage. So is this. I'm sorry, Preach. But yeah, they're gonna be something else now. They're gonna be charge generation. We don't know how exactly yet. But they're gonna be charge generation. I love that. I always thought there was like weirdly limited ways to generate charges. Like, power charges are easy. Power charges are really easy. But frenzies and endurances can be really fucking wonky depending on your build. I'm not opposed at all to getting a bit easier access to those. Problem, rangers don't have a form of life recovery that they excel at, while almost every other core character has a signature special recovery method. Wait, really? Solution, add a new and improved existing... Solution, add new and improve existing passive skills specializing in the recovery of charges for life and mana flasks, as well as life recovery from flasks in the ranges section of the passive skill tree. So they're just pushing the life flask playstyle on ranger. Added life regeneration if you've used a life flask in the past 10 seconds and mana gained on hit with attacks if you've used a mana flask in the past 10 seconds to the ranger's starting area. Added new passive skills in the ranger's section of the passive skill tree that increase generation of life and mana flasks, including gaining a life flask charge on hitting enemies with a short cooldown. Added new sources of life and mana flasks gaining charges every 3 seconds and life flasks gaining charges when you suppress spell damage. What does that mean? What does suppress mean? Is that like... Suppress... They're giving us access to the suppressing fire debuff somehow on Ranger. Interesting. This concludes part 1 of our 3.16 expansion balance changes. Tomorrow we'll share part 2. Oh, it's... Holy shit, they're going wham bam. Let's go. Tomorrow we'll share part 2, which covers our plans for core character defenses and recovery. Please keep in mind that we're so far away from launch. Elements of what we've written here may change after further playtesting, feedback and iteration. There's plenty more to discover in our upcoming reveal of Path of Exile Scourge and its patch notes. See you tomorrow. Huh. That's... Yeah, that's a fucking manifesto. Holy shit.